If you are just arriving, today's topic of discussion are future purchases and movies, specifically any horror action films. If you've seen anything good lately, drop a recommendation. Got the day off today and tomorrow, so looking to catch up on some movies. Just don't know what to watch yet. Grab my drink and then I'm coming back. Ooh, oh yeah, found Malibugia. Where's Malibugia going? Oh, Malibugia. Ooh. Yeah, right there, boom. Oh man, he's a mean one. Put him right next to the Glock, how about that? Yep, looking for some good movie suggestions, action movies, horror movies. Trying to catch up with something I haven't seen before. So if you seen any good horror action movies, let me know. Or if you have any suggestions on I'm looking to pick up something new this week. Just don't know what to buy. I haven't purchased a firearm in a very long time, so I don't know what's popular right now or good. Actually, I've seen some good stuff about TSOS, so I'm thinking of maybe trying the new TSOS 1911. For the price, looks like can't beat it. I mean, I thought Rock Island Armory was where it was at regarding prices, but looks like TSOS is really knocking it out of the park recently. Especially the TSOS Tanker and the TSOS 1911 that comes in stainless steel, chambered in 38 Super and 9mm barrel comes with it. And then the TSOS, I think it's the Duty 45. That's essentially a Colt railgun copy. That looks very nice. If anybody owns any of those, I'd love to hear how they've been for you. Because it looks like an awesome 1911, to be honest. Would love to hear if anybody has any 1911 suggestions. Wouldn't mind getting a new one of those as well. Maybe Springfield Armory Garrison, stainless steel, or the Springfield 1911 Loaded. Not quite looking to drop that much money on a TRP or an operator, but maybe if we could just stay below $1,000. I'd love to hear suggestions. If anybody purchased anything new lately. I'd like to try a red dot on a pistol. I haven't tried one. I mean, I've shot plenty, but I haven't owned one, so I'm thinking I might make the plunge. And right now I'm looking at the FN 509C. Maybe putting a hollow sun on it. If anybody owns one of those, how do you like it? Or if you have any recommendations, that'd be great too. I don't know if I want to get another Glock, like a Gen 5 Glock 19 MOS. I have um, 3 Glocks currently, 2 19s and a 26. The 19 is a second generation um, Austrian proof mark, and the other one's just a plain 3rd gen. And if you're coming in for the first time, drop a comment. I'd love to see if the phone is frozen or it's just me. Let's see, how's it looking? Boop. If you're wondering what's on the table, we have a Springfield model 66-3. No, excuse me, 66-1. 4-inch barrel. Walther PPKS 380. Walther P22. Chambered in .22 long rifle. 3rd generation Glock 19. 2nd generation Glock 19. Got a Springfield 1911 GI. And just in the corner to the right, you can see a fully disassembled World War II Colt 1911 that I'm trying to restore. But I'm not, a full-blown gunsmith. But I'd love to get it operational. Then, as far as long guns go, I've got a XM15 E2S there, St. Victor hanging on the wall, as well as a Shockwave. If you own any of these, let me know. Let me know how you like it. I did have a Kimber up until about a week ago, a Kimber Custom 2 that I owned for 4 years, and the last year and a half I got real serious into training with it, and after about 400 rounds I just started to get jam after jam after jam. No matter what I did, change the magazine, no go. Adjust the extractor, nothing. Change ammunition, nothing. It would happen maybe 1 round every magazine would get a failure to feed or failure to eject. And when you're trying to train with it, it gets frustrating. So somebody made an offer on it. I took it. So I'm looking for a new 1911. New 1911 would be great. Something more modern. I don't know, maybe I'll look into the TRP. It's a little rich for my blood, but it's a good looking 1911, especially in that desert sand color. If anybody owns one, well, let me know how you like it. Or if you own a higher caliber 1911, like a Colt, or maybe, Nighthawk Custom, Wilson Combat. If you own any of those, let me know. Was it worth the money? Because I've got a Springfield 1911 GI sitting there. I paid, I think, just under $5 for. I've had it for close to 10 years now, and I've got thousands of rounds through it. I don't think I've ever had an issue. The only thing I did to it was send it off to the Springfield Custom Shop to have 3-dot sights put on it. And they did a trigger job as well, but other than that, it's completely stock. And no issues with it. But the Kimber, when I got it, it was pricey. And I know I had tighter tolerances, and they require a 500 round break-in period. But this one was, I got it used, and it doesn't even look like they fired it, so I counted it as brand new. And I did the break-in period on it, but I just couldn't get that gun to run smoothly, no matter what I did. And I always wanted a Kimber. You know, growing up, that seemed like the hot 1911. That was the one to own, a Kimber. But then just became crap. I don't know. I wouldn't mind trying the Kimber Raptor Pro Carry. I'll tell you that much. I might be able to. I've heard good things about it. So if you have one of those, let me know what you think of it, or if you have any problems with it. It can be discouraging, especially when you love the 1911. And again, I understand they have real tight tolerances and they need to be broken in, but I don't know, any gun you purchase and spend that much money on, when you have so many jams or issues, it's hard, you know, because it's something you may have to rely on to save your life one day. And no matter how cool the gun is, as soon as you start having so many issues, you just lose confidence in it. Wonder why I can't see comments. Nobody's commenting, that's why. You can't see it in the video, but in that little room there is also my Ruger Mini 14, as well as the Marlin Camp Carbine. What's going on, Hopkin? And then I have some downstairs, but I was just too lazy to go get them. Plus, they wouldn't fit in the frame. But I have a Smith & Wesson 1066 chambered in 10mm. Bonus points if you know anything about the Smith & Wesson 1066 or 1076. No, that one is chambered in 357 Magnum. It's a model 66-1. Checking the serial number, it was made in 1979. Yeah, and then as also on the table, I have a gun that broken apart that I'm working on, a Colt Detective and a Colt 1911. But I'm stuck on the installing the magazine release, because the gun has seen better days, but I'd love to get it at least put back together. Somebody's grandfather left it to them, and it was a bring back from World War II, allegedly. I mean, it says it has all the normal stuff on it, you know, property of U.S. Army, Colt, and then he put it in a box and forgot about it, so it got some surface rust I was able to get off. And then he as well, he tried to paint it for some reason. Thank God he didn't let the paint touch the interior of the gun, so it's just the outside that looks pretty haggard. How much is the bulk price on ammo? Or just the guns on the table? How you doing, Tafer? I don't know, I've been collecting and shooting for about 15 years. I haven't bought anything new in about 3 years. Because, I don't know, the Glock 19, it just works. Yes, it is, Clay, good eye. That is a Smith & Wesson 66-1. It actually came with Pachmayr combat grips, but at the same place they had those wood grips from an old Smith & Wesson, so I put them on. Thank you, Clay. What is the farthest target I shot? The furthest outdoor range is about 500 yards, and with the Bushmaster there, I can comfortably make shots out to 100, 150 yards on steel. But I'm not the best shot. I would like to get something scoped, though, for longer distance shooting. Maybe try a bolt gun. I do have like an old Mosin Nagant. But maybe like a Remington 700 would be cool, or a Savage bolt gun. I don't know. Maybe I'll just throw like an LPVO and a bipod on the St. Victor there. Yeah, Clay. I actually went to the shop the other day because in the next few days I'm looking to make another purchase, something new. And one of the guns I looked at was the Smith & Wesson M&P, the metal series that has the like the OD green finish. And man, that thing just fits in the hand amazingly. So I'm considering one of those as well. And it's something I can throw a red dot on, because if you notice, I don't have anything that I can put a red dot on. Wouldn't mind trying my hand at a red dot on a pistol. I'm kind of like, only red dots I have are on the Bushmaster and the Springfield there, but everything else is iron sights on the Mini 14, the Camp Carbine, the Beretta CX4 Storm. I just like irons. But yeah, a red dot on top of that M&P series would be nice. I'm considering it. Oh, how do you like the metal carry comp? I was also thinking of the Hellcat Pro or the Springfield Echelon 4.0C with the compensator on it, or the built-in compensator on the Echelon with the red dot on it. It has such a nice look. And that is another one that fits great in the hand. Yeah, I hear good things about Holosun. I haven't had any of their optics, but the people I do shoot with that have them mounted on their pistols or pistol caliber carbines, love them. I did see that new Holosun that has the infrared or the heat, or the night vision, excuse me, night vision. That's really cool. Probably cost about as much as most of what's on the table. I was also considering a lever action. I'm really liking that. I was watching that Jurassic Park movie the other day, the one with Chris Pratt, when he's using that Marlin 1895 SBL chambered in 4570. I don't know, that started an itch that I kind of want to scratch. That was a gorgeous gun. I did have a Marlin 1894C back in the mid to early 2000s when it was owned by Remington, so it was like one of those Remlins, and the quality was just abysmal. It was rusting, and the lever was getting loose after extended range time, no matter how many times you tried to tighten anything. The customer service was horrible. So I got rid of that, but I heard that Ruger acquired Marlin, if I'm not mistaken, and apparently the quality control has gone right back to where it should have been to begin with. So might take another stab at Marlin. I see a lot of people liking the Henry, like the Henry Big Boy X, but man, those are just so pricey. I don't know. Maybe I'll keep it budget. Check out the oh man, what's the one that's made in Brazil? Is it Puma? It's a 357 chambered lever action that's real popular. It's on the tip of my tongue. Yeah, that Shockwave is fun to shoot, but most of the indoor ranges I go to don't allow it anymore. On account of too many guys go into the range with Shockwaves and they think it's funny to put it in, you know, their girlfriend or wife's hands as their first shooting experience, and they end up shooting the ceiling. So they just said no more Shockwaves, TAC 14s. Above the Springfield there, let me see if you could see it. I do have just a Remington 870 Police Magnum that was actually a trade-in. And I wanted the Remington or the Wilson Combat Border Patrol, but I couldn't justify the price for a pump action. So I bought that Remington 870 there for $275 because it was a police trade-in. I bought the Wilson Combat Ghost Ring sights myself, installed those, put a Wilson Combat +2 mag extension, and the Tacstar side saddle. And it looks like a Border Patrol, but it isn't. But it shoots just as good, is my opinion. I've got two 1911s on there, Romeo. That is a Springfield 1911 GI, and that is a Colt 1911 that I'm trying to restore. Yeah, man. I try to find the best deal I can find. $275 for Remington 870 Police Magnum. Granted, that was like 8 years ago, but at the time, you couldn't beat it. It just had some light scuff marks from where it was sitting in a police cruiser. And the Wilson Combat sights for the 870 were $120. That along with the +2 extension, and you have basically a budget Border Patrol. What's going on, Chanson? Yeah, the revolver is fun. I bought that about 12 to 13 years ago. The serial number I sent to Smith & Wesson, and I'm told it was made 1979. Came with the original box, paperwork, cleaning kit, which I still have. When I do shoot it, I mostly shoot 38 specials. I have done some 357 in there, but from what I understand, the early 66s weren't really meant for real hot 357 Magnum rounds, that there's a risk of cracking the forcing cone. So I try to just keep it light 38 special. Yo, focus. Ooh, I love the Deadpool avatar. Can't see it, but I got a Deadpool in the closet next to the Mini 14. Thank you, Rose. I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, I got more in there. Just nothing that would fit in frame. I don't know, maybe I should put some more stuff on the wall. Favorite? It would have to be a tie between the 66 sitting there and the XM15 E2S AR-15 that's sitting next to the Shockwave. Only because I bought it and it was a mid-90s build, one of the first XM15s to come from Bushmaster. I've put close to, a conservative estimate would be like 7,500 rounds through it. And other than changing the buffer spring and putting a new trigger in it, I haven't had any issues. Oh, okay, Rose. That's cool. Well, it's more of a, it's not like a Deadpool gun. It's a Deadpool. Let's see. I'll show you. It is a Deadpool sticker. Shaw. Oh yeah, you can also see the Mini 14 as well as the Marlin Camp carbine. That one was made in 1975. That's a fun one. It takes Smith & Wesson Model 59 magazines. Oh, nice, Strickland. What are you shooting now? The shotgun's fun to shoot, especially if I'd use like the quarter shells. -1. Not Cinco. That is a -1. Collectibles, Marcus, would be... Alright, let's see. I'll show you what I would consider collectible. Here is a Colt 1911, supposedly a World War II bring back. Then I'm trying to restore to its former glory. The original owner tried painting it when he brought it back. Thank God the paint didn't touch any of the internals. So once I get it back together with the parts I have, I'm gonna strip the paint off of it that he put on there. Hopefully the original markings are still fresh. It still has the property of U.S. Army on it and the Colt markings. And once I do that, I'm going to try to re-blue it. And then, I mean, I don't know if this would even count as a firearm, but here's a Colt Detective Special I'm working on. I have all the pieces for it. I'm just waiting on some springs in the mail. I'm trying to restore that one as well. I think those are the only collectibles. Yeah, he painted it. You know what? It was his. He brought it back from the theater and he painted it, but he put it in a box after that, never put it back together. So when he passed on, his wife gave me the box that contained the Colt 1911 as well as the Colt Detective Special, and I've been trying to restore it. Ooh, BCM upper on a Radian, ADAC lower. Nice. Yeah, I mean, it's got the property roll mark of a U.S. military on it. The only thing that's not original are the grips. The original grips that are kind of like the ones you see on the Springfield, the plastic bake-like ones. The original ones that came on the Colt were all cracked inside the box. So I just threw some wooden ones I had lying around on it. At least he painted it with something that seems to come off, and the original finish is still under there because I tried it in a small spot. So once I get it all together to make sure it actually functions, I'm going to break it back down and put it in like do some like acetone on it, you know, that's made specifically for removing finish on guns, paint, and then try re-bluing. I have re-blued gun two guns in the past and had some success at it. So I'm going to give it a try on the 1911. On a quad rail for which one? The Bushmaster. The Bushmaster has a Knights Armament rail. It's got a Knights Armament quad rail on there. Knights Armament trigger. MATAC rear sight. BCM grip. Magpul forward grip. And then the EO Tech 412 on there. No, Laylo. The one that ended Abraham Lincoln, I believe, was a single shot black powder gun. I wish I had something that old. God knows what it would be worth. What's going on, Guillermo? Yeah, the one that took out Lincoln was was an old piece. Yeah, nothing that old on this table. The oldest thing on the table would have to be the Colt, followed by the Smith & Wesson 66. Those two Glocks are 19s. One is a second gen with Austrian military proof marks. I don't know how that ended up over here. It didn't even come with a real box, and the paperwork on it said it was registered to an armory in Austria. So I guess that can be maybe considered a collectible. The other one's just a plain Jane Gen 3. Oh, and I got my pink Walther P22. I got it for $150. Guy couldn't get it to work, and it's pink. He got it for his wife to shoot, but she didn't like shooting at all. And he couldn't get rid of it because nobody wanted a pink gun, but I said, I'll take the pink gun. And all I did was replace the spring, and if I shoot CCI mini mags out of it, no issues. Premium only. Yes, there's two 1911s on the table. One in pieces and a 1911 from Springfield, the GI model. The GI model is the one that was like a clone of the World War II style. They don't make the GI series anymore. I think it's called the Defender series now. And it actually has like the chrome barrel and the angled, where you rack it. Nice, Mexico. I have a BB gun in there too. It's the BB gun from A Christmas Story, if anybody remembers that gem. Santa Claus brought it. It's got a compass in the stock. And this thing that tells time. It came with some Ovaltine. John Wayne movie, Laylo? Any suggestions? Yeah, I'm old, Rose. I'm in my early 30s. I'm an old man. The one with the O-light? Oh no, that's a Streamlight 3rd gen Glock 19. I do have an O-light flashlight sitting next to the CLP and the doll of Leatherface and Quagmire. Really random, but True Grit. MSD, nice. The PPK-S is 380 ACP. I love it. I've had one. That's the latest purchase. I've had that one for 2 years now. Maybe just under 400 rounds. No issues. If I could do it all over again, though, I would have waited for the just the plain PPK in that dark blued color that they came out with the threaded barrel, chambered in 32 ACP. Imagine slapping a suppressor on that. It's gotta be so quiet. Yep, James Bond. Yeah, another revolver. I tell you, the 586L comp from Smith & Wesson is looking really nice. Yes, it does, Whiskey Romeo. Yeah, no gun in 2 years, Rose. Just ammo. Ammo and training sessions. That's all the money's gone. I did buy a nice knife for the one of the classes I took. It's a Rat 3. Really good knife. Beautiful. Yeah, they're real. Or I don't know. How strict is YouTube with guns on live? If they're really strict, this is green screen. That's good to know, premium only. How hard is it to acquire a gun license in India? Disco Mutt? I have 2 safes downstairs. This is like a little workroom, and I set the firearms up in here to do some lives. I'm breaking down a few of them to make some videos, but you know, they all just don't sit out like this. They sit in the safes downstairs. The PPKS data is what I'm using right now. I would like to get something smaller, like a Ruger LCR. It's kind of nice. I think CZ in general is underrated. I think it's an awesome gun. That new Shadow 2 compact looks amazing. Kind of pricey, but maybe the CZ75 PCR is nice. Or shit, I kind of wanted a 45 ACP, so a CZ97B would be cool if I could find one. The holster I use, I don't remember the name brand, but it's a just the inside the waistband. I carry it towards the back. I don't do it in the front. I know a lot of guys like to carry, you know, with the gun pointed at their junk, but I just couldn't do it. I could not do it. Range time versus private lessons. Disco Mutt, I've done over the past 10 years. I've taken a bunch of classes at the 6 Hour Academy. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Just the PPKS. Yeah, I don't know. People like to carry their guns pointed at their junk. What's it called? Kidney carry or something like that? Or appendix carry? I think it's appendix carry. I don't know. I could be wrong. I just couldn't have a pistol pointed at my testicles. Appendix. Thank you, Strickland. Oh, all right. Yeah, David, that's it. Just, I don't know. Especially at one point I had a SIG P320. Thank God I didn't appendix carry that thing. Oh, well, yeah, it's different for you, Rose. Shit, I should get one of those little Derringers. This was the gun I used when I was a prostitute. Yeah, the PPKS. That is a cool one. Well, as far as ASMR goes, you can hear the air conditioner. That's about as good as it's getting. I'm good, Lubby. Yes, I have gotten pinched by the PPKS on the web of my hand. It's not that bad. Believe it or not, the Springfield 1911 GI is a little worse. I gotta get like a commander style hammer for it. The Taurus T22. I haven't, not that model, but I do like Taurus. Yeah, I'm gonna carry Smith & Wesson 500 with the long barrel, so I could take it out and use it as a club if I can't afford the ammo. Any stories where you actually needed the carry? Yeah, Disco Mutt. I can give you one. My older brother was had a cabin, and there was no one around for miles and miles, and I stayed at his cabin, and I'm talking deep woods, you know, about closest neighbor is 25 to 30 miles. And he goes, we finished watching a horror movie, and he goes, there's a cemetery out here that dates back to Salem, Pilgrim times. And I go, where is it? So we geolocated the cemetery, and we saw that it was like a 20-minute hike through the woods, and it's about 2 o'clock in the morning. And I don't know if you've ever been camping like in the deep woods. When it's night, it is pitch black. You can't see your hand in front of your face without a flashlight. So we're hiking, and we found the cemetery. It was cool. We took some pictures, saw some headstones that dated back to the 1700s. And on the way back, we say, let's take a shortcut and get off this little trail. And we're going through this area, and we start to smell something that smelled like like chemicals, like tire burning smell, really hurting the back of the throat, and we couldn't figure out what it was. And then we came across a school bus, broken down school bus, no tires, no nothing on it, that had a chimney, believe it or not. And we shine our lights on the bus, and you can hear a generator running, and there's smoke coming out of all the windows. But when we shined the light, you could just see all these tubes running. And long story short, it turned out to be a mobile meth lab. And some guys came, and he drew on them, my brother. And they said, do you just want to leave and put the gun down? And we said, yeah. And we left, and then called the cops. So that's about it. No, that's a 357. And no, I am not a cop. I do private security. I take rich people to buy stuff so they can feel safe. Yeah, that's a Smith & Wesson. But that's the only time I've ever had to pull. Just that the Springfield is just a plain trigger that they did they said that they did. I paid for it anyway. I sent it to the Springfield custom shop, and they did a trigger job on it, or an action job as it was posted, and put 3-dot sights on. The Colt, the trigger is the one thing that was too damaged. I can't reuse. I'm gonna have to order a new trigger, and I'd like to keep it original, but the only stuff I'm seeing online are like the 3-hole stainless steel triggers from Nighthawk Custom. It was like $150. I can't find like the mid-price stuff, but I'm looking. Texas State Trooper. Nice, Lubby. Is Texas State Trooper different than the Texas Rangers? Marquez, for the Shockwave, you can put an SBS brace on it. The last time I looked, the ATF ruled that it was okay to shoulder. I've seen other people at the range with SBS, and they shoulder it, and nobody gives them any crap. I just leave mine stock because I already have a Remington 870 with a full stock on it with the Wilson combat sights. Depends on the pistol, SV. In the winter, you know, I did have a Smith & Wesson 686, a current model with the Hillary hole. That was a 2.5 inch that I carried in the winter. And but it just depends, you know. It depends on the clothes you're wearing, if you want something heavy, how long you're going to be out. Yes, sir. A whole Model 66. Good eye. Oh, that is a 66-1. I wish it was a no dash, so I had the metal sights on it. Oh, yeah, the Texas Ranger versus Texas State Trooper. No, Christian, that is, those are two 19s. Nice, a hole. The only thing I need to do on that 66 is one of the rear sight screws doesn't tighten down that much anymore. I need to find a replacement, and it's been a pain, a hassle to find. But other than that, it's been a great firearm. I just like the fact that it came with the original box and papers and cleaning kit and stuff. Ooh, Tillman Scott, that's a good choice. I would love like a Colt single action. Yeah, well, I have the original box with the original paperwork, and the original cleaning kit, everything. But yeah, 1873 single action Army. What are those going for lately? I mean, is Colt still making single action armies? Oh, the Lamont revolver, Douglas Marquez. Those are the revolvers used in the movie The Mummy, right? That Brendan Fraser uses. He has them on shoulder holsters. I think that's like one of the only revolvers you can legally own in certain parts of Europe because the caliber is so small. Nice. Model 60 snub to match it up. I had a 66 snub. If you look at my videos, I have one 2-inch, but I gave it to my father. He still has it. Ooh, Lubby. Thank you for your service, Lubby, and that sucks. I wouldn't want to get shot by any caliber, but I don't know. 45 just seems extremely rude. What can I say about these ARs? They're fun. The newer one is the St. Victor. No issues yet, if there are any issues. The Bushmaster XM15, the E2S, that one I have like 7,500 rounds through it, and I've had that the longest. I've just had to change the recoil spring. pneumatic for the sight screw. Let me see. I've actually just been looking at Midway and the other large online one, Numeric Gun Parts. All right, I am saving that. Saved. And then I can look there. Thank you. LeMats are insanely sick already, but even cooler for having 12 gauge. The LeMats are cool. They have one at my local gun shop for sale. And when I saw it, I said, "Ooh, the Mummy." And they were like, "Yes, finally somebody recognized." And I said, "Yo, Brendan Fraser's the GOAT." And it's just a cool revolver. I don't know, you could put anything in Brendan Fraser's hand back then and it would look cool. You probably put 2 of those pink Walthers in his hands and it would be badass. Woo! $2,300. Jesus. Where's everybody from? Or if you're not comfortable saying state or country, maybe somewhere near it. 42 cal cap and ball. How hard is that to find ammo for? I can't imagine. Because I did look at the LeMat that they had at the local shop, and I asked him if he had any ammo in stock, and he just laughed in my face. He didn't give me an answer, he just laughed. So the LeMats, I mean, 1896 is an old gun. From what I understand, I don't know if this is true or not, you could change the caliber from 36 to 42. Texas, nice. Oh, that's cool. Demailed sales. Thank you for the advice. I saved the name of the website you gave me last time, so I'm definitely going to be looking through that tonight. Texas. I love Texas. I'm in the live free or die state. Missouri, nice. Wild West, Arizona, hell yes. Any new toys on the way? Yes. I'm actually gonna go looking tomorrow. Looking at maybe the Springfield Metal Series. Something I could put a red dot on. I don't have anything with a red dot. I think I gotta catch up on the times. Get a 2011. I don't know. I've never been. They didn't seem to interest me much. Maybe I'll look at. I have been kind of looking at the Springfield or the Prodigy. I know they had some issues when they first came out, but I don't know. I'm digging it. Well, I also need to get a 22 LR pistol. I have a Mossberg Model 60, like one of the old 22 semi-autos. No, excuse me, it's a Remington, the Silk. But I don't have any 22 long rifle pistols that are new, just the P22. And I'd like to try maybe the Ruger 2245. Bersa has a 2011 coming out. Nice. I gotta see what that looks like. Bersa was killing it back in the early 2000s with their PPKS copy and their 22 long rifle version. I was looking at a revolver. Believe it or not, I was thinking about the Smith & Wesson, the 317, the kit gun. Kind of looks cool. My dream 22 long rifle pistol is the Beretta Cheetah. If I could find one. There's a couple on Gunbroker, but they're like $1,500. Nice Strickland. I'm actually, besides the Smith & Wesson, I'm looking at the Springfield Hellcat Pro Comp as well. It's just a cool looking gun. Plus, you read the story about that guy at the mall. Active shooter comes in while he's eating in the food court. Bam, single shot. Had to be a 40, 50-yard shot with a Springfield Hellcat Pro Comp. Dude's a hero. Not even on the news. It's funny, I was looking at the 22 long rifle pistols on guns.com and Buds, and the Mosquitoes are going for like $150 to $200. Nice, Liam. Subscribe and maybe comment, just a random comment on one of my videos, and I'll send you my email. Get in contact with you. I have a ton of old parts too. I think are worth something. If anybody has any Remington 870s or Mossbergs, I've got the whole kit for the 870 from Speed Feed that they sold in the 90s. Not to mention the Streamlight, the 618 FA it was like the fore-end flashlight built into the fore-end that came out in the late 90s, early 2000s for the Remington 870s. The Commander size 45, I saw the TSOS has the tanker model, and for the price and the videos I've seen about it, I've only heard good things. Not to mention their new 1911 chambered in .38 Super that comes with the 9mm barrel with it. They have it on Buds right now for $379. That is a deal for a gun with 2 calibers. But whoever was the state trooper in Texas, I used to work at a police department, not as a cop, and I did meet a Texas Ranger, and at the time they were using Glock 31s chambered in .357 SIG, and he could not stop singing the praises of that caliber. He said .357 SIG. He had 2 shootouts on the highway where the cops were using 9mm and couldn't get through the door of the truck that the guy was using, and apparently he said, I showed up with my Glock 31 and .357 SIG. One shot went cut right through the door. So, but that's a pricey round too. Hey, Pingu. Model 34? I have to look at it. What do you think of those Roscoes that came out recently? On a sub $400 revolver that's blued with grips. Another nice 22 that I looked at, but seems kind of pricey, is the new Henry Big Boy revolver that have like little gold inlet near the trigger. That's a nice one. But it's up there in price, man. But it feels solid. Like, you pick that up, the Henry, and it's just a beautifully built revolver. I just don't know if I want to drop the coin on a 22 long rifle revolver like that, unless it's a Smith & Wesson. Germany makes some good guns, yes. I wouldn't mind a P229 or M11A1 to add to the collection. Oh yeah, Whiskey Romeo. The Ruger single 6 I was looking at, and the single 10. Good prices on those as well. So my plan is to buy something in the next few days, and then I'll go live. And if you guys subscribe, you can guess what it is. And if you guess right, I don't know, I'll send you a coupon or an Amazon gift card. H&K? Yeah, they make good stuff. They make pricey stuff. But I don't know, a USP would sit nicely in the collection if I could find a used one. But I can't stick a red dot on it unless I mill the slide. I don't know, they got what, the P30s and the P30Ls that take red dots on the H&Ks? Oh, the MP5? Yeah. I think they just came out with like a long barrel one. I might be thinking of the wrong company, or it's like an MP5K variant, or the build that's a pistol caliber carbine. All right, I am writing down everybody's suggestions, by the way. So we got the Ruger single 10, Smith & Wesson M2, and yeah. You have a G36C, Pingu? That's amazing. I didn't even know you could get one of those. Did you buy it as a G36, or was it like the SLK and you sent it to that one of those companies that turns it into a G36 style? She cuts the barrel down and everything and puts the G36 furniture. Yeah, I have to agree with you all. I don't know. The only one I wouldn't, if I could afford something like it and could own it, something just so cool about a grease gun from World War II. That slow fire, that slow repetition. Yeah, MP5. MP5 and 10 millimeter. I didn't even know they made those until a while ago. Imagine that animal. The STG 44. Whew. If you could find one. I know there's a company making a one chambered in 22 long rifle. That'd be kind of cool to have. Conversation starter. Do you work in law enforcement, Pingu? Oh, a real World War II one? Yeah, me too. Who wouldn't want one? The only thing from World War II on this table is that Colt sitting over there. Yeah, that one was actually in World War II. But I'd love to own something else from World War II. Well, I do have some trench art from World War I. Oh, the PSG-1 rifle. Yeah, it's considered one of the best sniper rifles in the world. I think it's used by the GSG-9, German SWAT team. GSG-9 was created after the Munich Olympic massacre when they needed their own tactical team. They're still using a revolver as their sidearm, which I think is badass. Steyr AUG is cool. I like bullpups. I wouldn't mind getting one. FS2000 is cool too. You have a World War I 1911 and a World War II. So a 1911 and a 1911 A1. That's awesome, dude. That is awesome. Ah, the pig. How about an RPK sawed off like snake eaters in Vietnam with their Levi jeans? Yeah, 1911s are great, Pingu. Ooh, the Kuna, that's another one I'm interested in. That's pretty cool. That's new, right, from Springfield? How about if you could own any gun on the planet, full auto or semi-auto, what would it be? Uh, Something cool. Maybe one of those Chinese grenade sniper rifles. Ooh, the Vector. Good choice. The Smith & Wesson, the FPC or the PC9, the side folding one, right, from Smith & Wesson. That actually looks really cool. I mean, they totally bit off of Kel-Tec Sub 2000, but I give credit to Smith & Wesson for saying, yeah, damn right, we copied you. We made it better, though. Oh, yeah. Especially if you have, like, one of those World War II trench knives that the U.S. military issued with the knuckles on it and the skull crusher on the bottom. Those are pretty badass. Oh, it's the top fold. Nice. MG42? Yeah. Oh, man. What about the MG? Is it the MG? The one that they only had for, like, the SS troopers, the parachute, or the paratroopers? I forgot what it was called, but it had a side-loading magazine. Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking with that new 6-hour spear chambered in that weird at what is it, 6.8? I wonder if they're gonna continue to roll that out. Browning M2, hell yeah, mount that bitch on top of a Beetle or something. Or you can go Middle East and just stick it on top of a Toyota. I swear, Toyota must have dealerships all over the Middle East. Ooh, the PSA Saber. Yeah, I've been seeing some good reviews on the Sabers. Clausen 1911. Look at Clausen 1911 government model book before you do too much work on your cult. Alright, I am marking that. Romeo. Yeah, I'm not doing, I'm not trying to modify the cult in any way. When I got it, it came in a box. I'll show you the box. Wait, stand by. This is how that firearm came. And it was in pieces. So I got everything back on it. I mean, there was nothing that wasn't disassembled. The only thing I have new is because the old one didn't work anymore is the spring. It was so brittle it snapped when I tried. And the mainspring housing. Other than that, everything else is original. I was able to buff some of it with some compound to get it cleaned up. I know. She came out with that box and said, "Can you do anything with these?" And I opened it up and saw all these beautiful revolvers and pieces, and I was like, oh God, it hurts the soul. Oh, frame cracking issues, no good. Which quad rail are you talking about? The one on the Bushmaster? Can you own a USP 45 SOCOM in the USA? Yes, you can, Pingu. They're exceptional. What, the Mark 23? They're expensive, but yeah. Oh, Knights Armament? Yeah, it's a Knights Armament RS. I got that. Oh, I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you the website I got it on. The website I got it on, keep in mind, I got that rail about 14 years ago. shit, we were still in Afghanistan and Iraq, and those were just bulk that Knights Armament had. So I actually paid $150 for that Knights Armament rail with all the slides, and I even have the Knights Armament forward grip. I put the mag pull short one on there just because I like it, but I still have the Knights Armament rail forward grip. The website though, let's see. It was, I always keep them saved. Let's see, so I can remember. Operation Parts Inc. I don't know if they have any more. I would doubt it, because these were just bulk that they had during the global war on terror. Now I don't know if it's true, but I heard they go for a hefty price for the Knights Armament rails. Not a hefty price, just higher. A couple 105s in the backyard. Tax swap. What are they going for now? So would I, Pingu. A BAR. Actually, you know what they have at the shop that I'm considering buying? They have a I don't know if you're familiar with the Pingu. Seems like Pingu, you're in Europe. Well, one of the guns that Frank Hammer used to take down Bonnie and Clyde was something called, I believe, the Remington Model 8. Excuse me. The Remington Model 8. It was a semi-automatic rifle chambered in 30 cal. And they actually have one at a local shop. They want $800 for it, but the thing is pristine condition. What would a collection like that cost in the US? A Remington Model 8. In the US, I don't know. This is maybe a couple thousand. Well, yeah, maybe a few thousand in guns. I don't have like a super expensive collection. For the Remington Model 8, they wanted $800, or they want, if it's still even there, because that's a rare find. But Bonnie and Clyde used a cut down BAR, and a cut down BAR with welded magazines to give them full, I think it was 40 rounds of 30-06 euros. Yeah. Okay, so it'd be maybe 950, 980 euros. I have a place in Spain that I like. Well, it belongs to the family, but I go down there a lot, so I like Europe. Good. I know. The posse that went after Bonnie and Clyde, I believe, also used a Colt Monitor. I don't know if you've ever heard it. It's the Colt Monitor rifle. It was another 30-06 fully auto, and that thing is a beast. But as I was saying, I haven't purchased anything in a few years, so the next few days something new will come and be added to the collection. Australia, Crime Watch cams. Well, I mean, I just saw something about a news article about Australia where you're now allowed to own pepper spray for self-defense. I never understood why the BAR is a 20-round mag. Yeah, I mean, back then, 20 rounds, I guess, fully auto was considered a lot. Yeah, Crime Watch. I do follow a few Aussie creators on YouTube that do gun content. That's a shame. I mean, I saw an old documentary when they confiscated the firearms in Australia, and you just saw piles and piles and piles of collectible and classic guns that were due to be melted and destroyed. Man, that hurts the soul. Oh yeah, the Lewis gun. Yeah. Or what about a yeah, speaking of the Lewis gun, there's actually pictures of some Ukrainian soldiers using one in Ukraine, if you can believe it. They must have broke that out of some old storage spots. Yeah. In some of the pictures I've seen from Ukraine, I've seen guys with M44 Mosin Nagants, a Lewis gun, even, believe it or not, Thompson submachine guns with the stick mags. I haven't seen any pictures with drums, but man, imagine what. Well, no, I can't. I can't imagine. I think if you want a fully legal, transferable Thompson submachine gun in the States, and you have a Class 3 license and everything, it's like $25,000. Who the hell has that? For a gun, anyway. I couldn't afford a fully auto. I just read something about California banning Glocks because you can put the switch on them or something like that. Oh, God, I really feel for gun owners in that state. Yeah, you can get the Thompson in the States. Funny story about Thompson, a Thompson submachine gun. When I used to work at a police department, and then there was a flooded the whole town. Police department got flooded. It was during Hurricane Irene or Sandra or something like that. And the whole department got flooded, and they had a massive safe that had guns from the founding of the police station. And two of the guns in that safe were original Thompson submachine guns in perfect condition, along with a few Colt 1911s, and I forgot the name of the other one, but they all conveniently disappeared, and only the chief knew the combination to that safe, and maybe like one or two other guys. But after that flood, those things were gone, never to be seen again. Nah, they weren't destroyed. Somebody took their chance. I think it was the chief. It was his last year. He was retiring after 30 years, and he said, "Those are my Thompsons now." I think they're sitting in his basement, to tell you the truth. A fully transferable Thompson, though, it's gotta be a ridiculous amount of money. John Dillinger, interesting bit of trivia. John Dillinger used a 1911 chambered in .38 with a welded magazine, giving him 14 rounds of .45 ACP that was fully auto. He put a Thompson submachine gun front grip on it, as well as a compensator. Back then, .38 Super was considered a high velocity round that went through body armor, or what body armor they had at the time. And he had one in his gun collection. Interesting. Didn't know that. Yeah, Rose. Best gun from World War II, Pango? I think one of the coolest guns was the Liberator. Those little tiny pistols we dropped all over France for civilians to pick up. They were supposed to pick them up and take out a German soldier and use the German soldier's gun. They were called the Liberator pistol. I don't know how many were issued, but they came in a tiny little box, and they knew that the readers would be speaking whatever European country's language they were dropping them in. So instead of instructions, it had a tiny comic book showing you how to load the Liberator pistol. And it came with a little wooden dowel and I believe 4 45 ACP rounds. And it was a single shot. Those are pretty neat. Yeah, for the resistance. Those you can still find. Another thing you can find that's from World War II, believe it or not, after World War II, we got some factories over there that had the Hitler Youth knives, and they were actually sent back to the United States, where they were given to the Boy Scouts of America with the Boy Scouts of America insignia put over the Hitler Youth knife symbol, the swastika. So apparently, if you could find an old Boy Scouts of America knife and buy it, you can peel off the Boy Scouts insignia, and there's some of them still have the swastika underneath. I mean, that's pretty lazy. You would think they would just melt the knives down and make some new Boy Scout knives, but they were like, nah, it'll be fine. We're gonna join that swastika and make it like an 8 or like a sideways butterfly. A martini, Henry. Ooh, yes. I don't know, Pingu. Have you ever seen a gun? Oh God, I'm old. But there's a movie called Quigley Down Under, and he uses a. It's about an American that goes to Australia, and he's considered a sniper, and he uses a rifle that I think is so cool. It's a 1874 Sharps rifle, customized, and if you ever watch that movie, I think you'd really enjoy it. See some of the shots he was making with it. You could actually buy a copy of the rifle from Sharps today. It's expensive, but it's pretty cool. It has 2 triggers on it. Ah, yeah, Simo Haya, the White Death, killed something about 500 Germans. It's from Poland, right? 800. And he was, no, Finnish sniper, right? I'd have to look him up, but I thought it was Finland or something. Get a Bowie and watch Crocodile Dundee. That's not a knife. This is a knife. I want his freaking crocodile jacket. That thing is pimp. Oh, and the hat with the teeth around it. That man's a national treasure. Yeah, but the Sharps rifle, even just not even a custom Sharps, but just a plain Sharps rifle, would be a fun purchase. Single shot. You can get them chambered in different calibers. I'd have to go with the 4570 or even 357 Magnum. But it's cool. It loads from the stock. It's like you turn it, and the whole stock has a tube that comes out, and you just drop your rounds in, put it back, and it's like a lever action almost. Those are pretty cool. Yeah, we're old, Rose. The Sharps rifle was used for a lot of things. I know the cavalry used it. It did come in multiple calibers, so depending on what you were hunting. I think for big game Africa hunting rifles, people were using I think it's called 500 Nitro Express. And those are some serious elephant guns. Ah, that makes sense. Strickland. I never put that together. Honestly, sharp shooter. I don't know, didn't the during the Revolutionary War we had like guys hiding in trees with their muskets sniping at British soldiers, and they were like really mad at us for doing it because it was not gentlemanly. Yeah, but Sharps is a cool rifle. In that regard, though, if I were to get a lever action, I really like the Marlin 1895 SBL, the bush gun, or the brush gun, is I think it's called, chambered in 4570. Those things rocketed in price after those Jurassic Park movies. Even if you go to Marlin's website right now and look up the model, they post every picture of the rifle with the outline of the animals that you're meant to hunt with it. And with the 4570, they have all the animals and then a T-Rex. Semi-19 Arctic Warfare rifle. Ooh, 7.62, nice. The Patriot, yes. Awesome Mel Gibson movie. That man can cry on demand, boy. You know, it's a really underrated Mel Gibson movie, Edge of Darkness. Edge of Darkness, where they kill his daughter. He acted the shit out of that one. Oh, nice javelin. Yeah, no rockets here. Although, if I had the money, I'd like to buy like an AT4 tube from one of those like wacky GIF websites. It's just the tube, but just the tube is still like $1,500. Whew, that's expensive. All right, Rose, you have a good night. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out the new gun when I buy it in a few days. And if you have a channel with videos, I will be sure to sub back and watch. Same goes for everyone else as well. Yeah, the Javelin's been killing it over there in Ukraine. I think they even call it Saint Javelin and even have cards with a saint holding a javelin as patches. That's remarkable. Good to know, Rose. Good to know. Ooh, a nice Strickland Saab launcher. Stand by. I'm going to look that up. I'm not familiar with it. Saab launcher. Ah, AT4. Oh, those are one of, oh, they're the Carl, are they like the Carl Gustav recoilless rifle? The Gustav. How you doing, John Crow? I've had the Walther about 3.5 years now. It looks good from far, but I've been carrying it a lot, so it's got its fair amount of scuffs. But I just call that a character. 43X, good? I hope so. I mean, I would think so. Those on the table they're both 19s. One's a 2nd gen and one's a 3rd gen. Yeah, have you seen the footage out of Ukraine? They had I guess they just did like another attack called Operation Spiderweb, where they released all these drones from cars instead of trucks this time. Drones are terrifying, dude. Imagine the PTSD those dudes are gonna have anytime they hear any kind of whirring noise. They're gonna be hitting the deck. Yeah, Strickland. That's exactly why I would get one, to just put it on a mantle. That's okay, Pingu. I don't really either. I just get every now and then I get stuff shown in my feed about what's going on in the world and current events. I'm more interested in the tactics that are being deployed to use on a like a modern military. You know, I think it's called peer-to-peer force, where you're facing an enemy that has near or your same capabilities, and I'm just interested on how that is going. I'll tell you what, tanks don't seem to be the go-to right now. I'm thinking in the future it's just going to be thousands upon thousands of drones coming at you. Yeah, they need to just start handing out some fucking skeet shooting guns to these dudes for those drones. Yeah, tanks, I mean, or I would say, what did we send over there? We sent the Bradley M2, right? The troop carrier that's not quite a tank, but it has the Bushmaster chain gun on it. There's some crazy footage of one of those taking on a Russian T5 tank, is it? Whatever one of their Russia's advanced, and that thing did damage on the Russian tank. I think the Russian tank ended up getting it in the end, but that Bushmaster chain gun really surprised me. The Challenger too, oh yeah. Do I have any recommendations on gripping a pistol? Not really. Just depends on what kind of gun. When I shoot the revolver, I always do like that old style teacup hold. I gotta stop doing that. But other than that, I just try to do what I've learned in the classes I take. I mean, I only shoot the. I would like to have a 1911 reliable enough to take on like a 3-day course, 500 to 1,000 rounds going through it. Unfortunately, I haven't found that gun yet. The Springfield would probably be closest. Yeah, the Brits were first to a lot of stuff. Oh, some pearl grips. Yes, I used to own another Springfield 1911 GI, like the one sitting over there, but it was stainless steel, and I had the fake ivory grips on it. Oh man, that thing was spectacular looking. The Prodigy. Yeah, the Prodigy's looking good. I do get worried about the stuff I was reading about issues with the Prodigy. If I had the money, maybe something from Knight's Armament. What am I saying? Knight's Armament. I'm thinking about the rail. Nighthawk Custom, or even sending off this Springfield 1911 GI to send it back to Springfield and say, yo, give me the works. Combat trigger, combat sights, extended beaver tail. See how that goes. Out of all the classes I've taken, I've used the second generation Glock 19 and then the third generation. The second generation I used in the classes I prefer because I like it without the finger grooves, and the finish on the second generation Glock 19 is just indestructible. Not only that, it has like a grippy texture to it, as opposed to the third gen Glock 19 has like this slippery finish, if that makes sense. Oh yeah, the F-22 Raptor. You see the one China came out with? It's like, what the hell, China? You're copying our homework. I swear, the videos I saw, I was like, oh wow, look at that F-22 landing on that carrier. Wrong. Wrong. That's the new Chinese. That's the new Chinese plane. China said, "We didn't copy, bro. We built it before you. We just never showed it to you." Ah, yes, Pingu. I saw the video of that Gen 6 plane coming out of Russia. It wasn't great footage, but apparently somebody got a tiny video of something flying in that looked different. But Russia has that cool plane. What is it? The Sukhoi? They had some good stuff. King of the Sky, in my opinion, at the time, based on kill count, would have to be the F-15 Eagle. The footage of an F-15 Eagle landing with only one wing is incredible. I agree, Strickland. When I go to Nighthawk Customs website, I look at some of the guns people have sent in, like the one I have sitting over there, and they maybe spend close to 1,000 on just some light performance enhancing parts, like front strap checkering, combat grip, beaver tail, and smoothing out interior and stuff parts. I could kind of be open to something like that. The DLC coding on the Gen 5 Glocks. That's what I hear. I've handled a few of the Gen 5s. I was considering the Glock 19, the Gen 5, the MOS. But if I got that would be my 4th Glock. So I want to try switching it up. Just to have something different in the inventory. Oh yeah, the Warthog is awesome. I have to look up to see if Glock is really coming out with a Glock with a fire group that's removable like the P320. I would have to give it to Glock if they actually came out with that. Yeah, the Warthog is cool. Also, the helicopters we have are pretty neat. We have that new one, the one that's supposedly silent. That looks like a Black Hawk. Oh, the Apache, yeah. It was good talking to you too, Pingu. Don't forget to sub. I try to be live every Thursday. And Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sometimes. I'll be getting something new. I can imagine. James, in my opinion, I don't own either of those. I have shot both of them. I'm a big fan of the 43X, though. Ooh, that's late. Pingu. Yeah, if you hop on off, Pingu, I'll see you next time. Yeah, but James, the 43X, I really like. If I didn't have those Glocks and the 26 I have downstairs and was buying a new gun, I would go with the 43X. Indeed, Pingu, it is fun. You know your stuff. But right now, I am looking at it. I'm going to look at the Prodigy, the Echelon, maybe even the Walther PDP Compact. The regular PDP fit the hands like a glove. But the new one they just came out with, Walther PDP Compacts, that thing is gorgeous. Well, I've had the PPKS already, Yeah, the James Bond gun. For a while, they switched it up, and he had the P99, and that was the Pierce Brosnan gun. I don't know what the hell they were thinking of with the latest James Bond movie where he had a PPK that had a thumbprint on it. What kind of shit is that? Yeah, this PPK is chambered in 380 ACP, but they do come in 32 ACP. The 380 ACP with some, home defense rounds or carry rounds, hollow points. It's not bad. Snappy, but, it's an old design, fixed barrel. This one is a Smith & Wesson, assembled in Arkansas. So it's like the newer model. And it's been great so far. No issues, smooth operating. Some might think it's too heavy for a carry piece, considering you have so many options that are polymer, like the Glock 43, 48, Hellcats, Shields. But I don't know, PPKS, it's just classy, It's like I may have to use it to defend my life, but I can also stare at it like a fine watch. Don't forget to tap that like screen if you're hanging out. Help a brother out with the algorithm. Alright. If you have a personal defense weapon. Oh, P90. I don't have it. My brother has a P90. It was in the United States, you can get a P90, but it comes with a longer barrel. But if you get the tax stamp, you can make it a short barrel rifle, which he did. Took him about 4 months to get the paperwork done, but it has the small barrel on it now. That's definitely a cool gun to have. Oh, yes, definitely Strickland. I mean, the PPK has to be right up there with the 1911 as far as age goes. No, you can't use it full auto. I wish it was full auto. It does have a suppressor, though. You got a suppressor for it, too. Yeah, the current stuff coming out. I actually heard they were having some issues with the Glock 19 MOS with the acro sight on it. Apparently, the sight has been throwing the weight of the slide off, causing feeding issues with the Glock. Apparently, it happened a lot during SHOT Show. And now, since that 19's been out for a while with the acro sight, people are reporting the same issue. That's amazing. I mean, in a bad way, that's amazing. The Glock having that type of issue. Oh, that interesting. Being good. All right, Ginger. I'll get a close up on the Walther for you. Try to get a light on it a little bit better for you. I've had this one for about 3 years now. 2.5 to 3 years. Been carrying it. It's a PPKS 380 ACP. But yeah, that's my only Walther. If I could do it all over again, I'd probably get the just regular PPK instead of the PPKS. I mean, you're only losing 1 round with the PPK and the PPKS, but having that pinky extension on the magazine really helps. Stainless steel Walther. Yeah, Strickland, I've been reading the same stuff. It's real fascinating to think that the acro sight is throwing something off. Maybe the spent shells are bouncing off of the front of the acro sight, causing malfunctions. Oh, nice, the kid. So you just got to get a stainless steel to complete the collection. A German-made PPK would be nice too. That's a nice collector's piece. I think they had one of the nicest blued finishes on a gun. The new ones aren't quite blued. I looked at them at the gun store because they just got in the new 32 ACP ones with the threaded barrel. And it seems like more of a matte black than a true blue finish. Oh. That's funny, Pingu. Just take a bike down to your local factory and pick up your G36C. I do have an old one. I've got the SIG, the 552. I got a video of it. I can imagine. I mean, where you are in Europe, what is it, Switzerland? Where they all take home their military issued rifles and they're stored at home, and then if there's a conflict, they get the ammunition from the local police before they deploy. From what I understand, then they have to qualify with it a certain amount of times a year if they want to keep it once they're out. But that's cool. That's interesting. Yeah, the Swiss, like, they have a beautiful country. I've been once on a layover and got to stay there for a day and a half, and it was gorgeous. Oh, they keep it. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, they should do the same thing here. If you serve in the Marines, Army, Navy, you could get a chance to take home your issued rifle. True, Brad. We got psychos out there ruining it for the rest of us. I don't think so, Pingu. Yeah, they just lump all the gun owners in the same group. It's hilarious if my live is going and I have a somebody that comes in that doesn't know anything about guns or aren't into guns. They start with the, "Oh my God, you're crazy. I'm calling the ATF." And I'm like, hey, it's a hobby like anything else. Yeah, Pingo, it's sad. Unfortunately, this country has a mental health problem with the younger generation and my generation at some point. I think once that is addressed, it'll fix the issue. I try not to get too political on here, but I think a lot of it has to do too with you know, real young kids getting desensitized early, and they get this suicidal ideation stuff in their head. I think if the schools actually just reached out and enforced it on these kids, because believe it or not, Pingo, there was a time in this country where you can go to school and bring your hunting rifle with you, and then right after school go hunting with your friends. Granted, that's way before my time. I'm not really that old. But in the 60s and 70s, up until the 70s, it was quite normal for kids to have you know, to have hunting gun racks in their trucks, go to school. Then after school, they would go hunting and stuff. Thank you, Ramos. Look up Gettysburg when Antifa was going to tear up the statues and they protected AR-15. Wow. I will look that up. I'm actually going to write that down right now. Nothing I enjoy more than watching Antifa getting their ass kicked. I knew we were going to have issues when they started to arm themselves, though. I support people's right to have them, but when you're going to use them for being a freaking terrorist, then yeah. I tell you, man, and you know, I never understood the whole gun-free zone sign, because that's really going to stop somebody that's determined to hurt people from walking in. Oh, nice, Strickland. I never saw it when I was in high school, but we did go shooting after school and hunting and stuff. Gettysburg. Let me see. Putting that in. Antifa. I wonder how it's going to work, though, since Trump designated Antifa as a terrorist organization. So does that mean that if you have, like, the Antifa flag, or you have been proven to show up to Antifa events, you know, dressed in black bloc and all that stuff, like, do they just get to arrest you on the spot? Or if you do get arrested and it's proven you're a part of Antifa, does that mean, you know, you get sent to Guantanamo Bay? I don't know. I know, Strickland, yeah. Gun-free zones. Those evil guys just walk up and see a gun-free zone and go, shit, I'll come back next week. Maybe the sign will fall off. Okay, here we go. Gettysburg flag burning sees armed... Oh, God. You got to hear this. So, the first thing that popped up was from the BBC. And they said, Gettysburg flag burning seems armed far-right extremist groups assemble. Yeah, I agree, Pingu. They, you know, people that say, oh, you know, the Second Amendment was created only, you know, they only knew about muskets. No, they had machine guns back then, and cannons. Even the president at the time gave a letter to a private sailor for him to be able to put cannons on his privately owned ship that he used. So, you know. Exactly, Brad. I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. Man, they are really spinning this, though, in the flag burning thing at Gettysburg. It says militias flocked to Gettysburg to foil a supposed Antifa flag burning, an apparent hoax created on social media. Ground Zero, the Gettysburg National Military. Troll behind the Gettysburg July 4th Antifa hoax is from Pittsburgh. I swear, the internet will be the death of us. Agreed, Strickland. That'd be fun to do reenactment. I've gone and seen some. When I was in school, I went to a Revolutionary War reenactment. Man, those guys really go into, like, they get into it. They get into character. They're yelling at you. But then it takes you out of that when they pull out a Snickers bar from their satchel. the South. Yeah, I mean, militias flocked to Gettysburg. I'm seeing. I guess it was like somebody just said they were doing that. I mean, even look what happened today with that guy shooting up the ICE facility in Texas with the anti-ICE slogans on his ammunition. Ended up shooting more detainees than he did uh, agents. Man, that guy must have been. I find it interesting that they found notes in his room that said, "I acted alone, 100%." It almost seems like the thing somebody would say when they definitely did not act alone. Like, why bring it up? I guarantee you they'll go through his phone and they'll find a Discord where he was talking to other people about doing this. So him just writing, "I acted alone. Don't read into this any further." It's just suspicious in my opinion. Alright, Pingu. But that guy in Texas, at least he had the dignity to save us the tax money of jailing him. He took out the trash on his own body. I find it ironically beautiful that the guy that assassinated Charlie Kirk is probably going to end up getting the firing squad. They should sell tickets. I would go. Alright, Pingu. I don't know, anybody that celebrates the death of somebody else just because you had a difference of opinion on politics just tells me what kind of person you are right away. Strickland, bro, don't forget to sub. I'll sub back as well. You can check out my next live and I'll show you what I ended up buying. Alright, everyone. This will be it for me. I didn't realize I've been on here so long. Tomorrow I will go pick up the new firearm. Maybe. I might find something cooler. And I'll do another live and show everyone what I got. So until the next video, I'll see everyone later, and I really appreciate everyone hanging out with me. It was good talking to everybody. Everyone have a good night.